Hello on the Retired Gamer channel. Recently I've been playing many games that are a couple of years old, and the most recent one that I can include in that group is Star Wars Outlaws. The release of that game was cumbersome, at least that's what all the reviews and opinions that I've heard stated. From what I remember, the majority of them said that the idea behind that game was good, but the execution was definitely subpar. I found the time to play this game just recently and my opinion is definitely far different. If you want to know more, just sit tight and listen for the next couple of minutes. And now, before I actually get back to talk about Star Wars Outlaws, I just want to quickly remind everybody to like this video and of course subscribe to my channel. Thank you in advance, and now let's get this party started. So, in Star Wars Outlaws we play as Kay Vess. Kay is a young and beginning thief that in her dreams wants to land some big score and live happy ever after. Unfortunately, because of lack of experience and a bit of bad luck, she always fails spectacularly. We first meet Kay after another unsuccessful mission. It's not all bad because soon after we get another chance and we fail at that too. This time though, we were caught by powerful people, and soon after that we are forced to leave our home planet with a bounty on our head. The rest of the game is basically a straightforward story from zero to hero. It's relatively simplistic, but it's a good enough motivator for us to continuously take the next steps on the path to our main objective. It's a relatively classic Star Wars story where our main protagonist is a good-hearted thief. As a thief, we often do things for underground syndicates. Our relationship with each one of them is very important, mostly because each syndicate has its own territories. If we have a poor relationship, they will just shoot us on sight. On the other hand, if we get along just fine, they will allow us to explore them freely. And if they would love us, they would even allow us to take their stuff without that being considered as a theft. During our travels, we will visit a couple of planets, or moons. To travel between planets, we have our trusty spaceship. We can even take part in some space battles using it, which is something that I wasn't aware is present in this game when I first started it. And to travel on the planets themselves, we have something like a hover scooter. It's quite useful because the distances that we need to travel from point A to B are sometimes very big. That hover scooter is also useful when exploring because there are some places where we just cannot get without it. And when we're on our feet, we have a lot of sneaking and shooting. Kay is a thief, so sneaking and silent enemy elimination is usually our first choice. But when that fails, or if we just want to shoot a little bit, we can do that too. We just need to remember that Kay is not a soldier, so we'll be in trouble if we will just start a fight with an entire Imperial garrison on a planet. In addition to that, from time to time we also have some environmental or logical riddles. Never too complicated though. When it comes to RPG elements in that game, of course we have a pretty solid story. I already mentioned it. In addition to that, the major point is the character development, which is not very complex but created in a unique fashion. We don't earn experience points and advance to new levels. Instead, during our travels we will meet some specialists. Each of them will have a couple of skills. And to learn a specific skill, we will need to meet a certain set of criteria. Most of them can be achieved by just organically play through the game. Although if you see something that looks really interesting, we can try to force unlocking it a little bit earlier by doing specific things. One example of that is eliminating a set number of enemies using grenades. One other interesting and pretty original thing about Star Wars Outlaws is related to its side missions. It's not that there is something really unique about the missions themselves. The thing that I wanted to mention is how we get them. Not in all the cases, but in many of them, we can start such mission by interacting with a datapad or by overhearing a conversation. I really liked this organic way of getting more things to do. We also have a sidekick, a small animal called Nyx. He's very useful when sneaking, with his ability to distract or even attack unaware enemies. He is also useful in exploration, where because he's small, he can squeeze into tight spaces and, for example, click a button that will open a door for us. We can find some uses for Nyx even in open combat. We also have some other crew members, but mostly we can only talk with them on our ship. Pretty much all of them is nothing to write home about. I can only mention ND5, our droid, but mostly in a negative sense. I had high hopes related with him because I remembered in trailers he had very funny, at least for me, sour sense of humor. In the game itself it doesn't look so good. Many times it seems like he's trying to be funny, but actually he's not. As this is an Ubisoft title, I can also quickly tackle the Assassin's Creed similarities. There is a lot of sneaking, and we also try to eliminate our enemies silently as much as we can, but I think that is mostly it when it comes to Assassin's Creed similarities. In practice, there are a lot more differences, and when playing, I never felt like it's just another Assassin's Creed. When it comes to graphics, I think our main protagonist, as well as all the side characters who have some screen time, they are looking quite well. Their faces, hairs, animations are definitely solid. On the other hand, the quality of some environmental textures are at best so-so. Musically, it's just very Star Wars. If you're a fan, you will like it too, but if you're not, you will probably never add it to your playlists. I think the devs and the voice actors also did a fine job when it comes to dubbing. All the voices and emotions are matched well, and it definitely makes this whole world more believable. Okay, let's now talk a little bit about things I didn't like. First thing that I will mention, and probably the thing that bothered me the most, is the location reuse. If you will just do the main quests, you will probably never notice it. But if you'll try to do many of the side missions, they will, for example, force you to get to the same Imperial base 3 separate times. This is something that is funny at first, but quickly becomes frustrating. Apart from that, I only had some technical issues, but those are relatively rare and didn't bother me that much. There was one situation when I got completely stuck and I had to resort to a quick travel station to get out. I'm also pretty sure there were a couple more situations when I got really close of getting stuck. There are also some occasions when the scripts didn't work as planned. Sometimes they triggered too quickly, sometimes they didn't trigger at all. I had to load the last checkpoint a couple of times to give them another chance. The game also tends to give us a very aggressive warning of leaving the mission area. Also, the small amount of time that it gives us to get back in many cases is pretty much making it impossible. That also triggered loading of the last checkpoint for me a couple of times. The last thing is very subjective, but I also feel like the game have a very high system requirement compared to what it gives us. I had to trim them down quite a bit to be able to play at 60 frames and stream at the same time. To sum it up, I had a fair amount of technical issues, but considering I played for over 40 hours and had 10, maybe 15 problems over that time, it doesn't sound too bad. It's definitely far from ideal, but on the other hand, I never considered quitting the game because of them. For the review of Star Wars Outlaws, I was playing on my PC and I was using Game Pass. I think it's probably one of the cheapest way to play it currently. But the game is also available on PS5, Xbox Series consoles and Nintendo Switch too. And because it's not a new game, you can probably also often get it on a solid discount. If you are a fan of Star Wars, or if you like to play a single-player, third-person story-driven game, this is definitely something you should consider. I spent a fair amount of time having a lot of fun in Star Wars Outlaws, and I think if you will give this game a chance, you will be able to probably say the same too. Thanks for watching till the end, you're awesome, and I really hope we can meet again soon in another review. But until then, have some fun playing games.